And the laws and regulations governing spaza shops have been brought to sharp focus. This comes after 2 children in Soweto died after consuming biscuits bought from a local spaza shop. Their devastated families are still seeking answers. Traces of organophosphate, a chemical also found in rat poison, have been found in samples of these food products. Authorities say more samples have been taken to laboratories as the investigations continue. eNCA reporter Bafedile Moerane is in Soweto tracking the story for us. Good afternoon again, colleague, and thank you so much, Bafedile. It's really devastating, and primarily because it's now led to the tragic death of 5 children. There are probably many other unrelated, or rather unreported cases due to these false and fake food products. Give us an update as what's currently happening.
Certainly that, Cindy, and we are seeing calls mounting. Now, this morning we saw the ANC Youth League in Greater Gauteng having to take the matters to the streets of Soweto and having to submit a memorandum of demands to Naledi police station, where there are 2 cases reported where 2 children have lost their lives, including those in the West Rand. And they're saying that they want to see law being enforced, in particular in the regulations of the mushrooming spaza shops, which are allegedly being owned by foreign nationals. But at this point, Cindy, I'll be joined by the ANC Youth League Regional Secretary, Mr. Khomongwe. Thank you so much for joining us. I want us to talk about the issues of regulations. You're really emphasizing that matter. Tell us that what does your memorandum that you submitted at Naledi police station entail?
Well, the memorandum is to emphasize on the the need for regulations to be taken serious by these foreign national-owned spaza shops. We are not against them operating in our communities, but we want them to follow the regulations that are there, that are created by our authorities. And we also want authority to take them into accountability. All the foreign national spaza shops or owned spaza shops must be regulated and should be monitored timelessly. That are they really following regulations? They do not sleep where they are not supposed to sleep, because there is allegedly a story that says they even sleep even in the same room of where they sell these goods and trade. So we call upon the authorities to come on board and help us to make sure that our own laws that are being put before any citizen of this country are followed.
I believe that it's not our responsibility as ordinary citizens to remind government to do their work. What do you have to say? Who do we have to blame in this instance?
There's nobody who are supposed to blame why the government, because of it is us who goes to voting polls and vote for these people to be in government. So they must receive pressure from us in order for them to do their job in a situation they do not do. And hence we are saying to the MEC responsible for economic development, there must be action that is took against these foreign national-owned spaza shops that ought to ensure that all the regulations that we give to any owning or any person who owns a spaza shop are followed.
Now, let's talk about after submitting the memorandum. You said that if there's no action by the Naledi police station to ensure that they enforce regulations working together with government authorities, the ANC Youth League, when they were reading the memorandum, they said they are now going to take matters into their own hands if the officials are not enforcing.
We are not taking matters into our own hand. Before we were members of the Youth League, we are members of the society. And as members of society, it is our responsibility to ensure that anybody who lives and who operates within our country operates within the boundaries of our law. And as citizens of this country, we are going to ensure that where police are not able to arrive and do as we are requesting, and as the law dictates to them to be doing, we'll do it ourselves. One, as a member of society, I have a right to arrest anybody that I see doing a wrong thing. So us as citizens, we are going to take it upon ourselves to ensure that all regulations that are being put before any member of society in South Africa are implemented.
What is it that we find in these spaza shops that you're really not happy with? I know people have, young children have lost their lives, families are devastated at this point, but if you could just highlight to us that according to the reports that you hear from your colleagues on the ground, what is it that they are finding on these spaza shops?
Well, the things that we're finding is a fact that these people sleeps in the very same rooms where we buy these things the things that are being sold to us at times are not healthy on a basis of others have expired, others where they are produced. They are not, I don't know what is it, SARP or what is it, that that regulates and checks if things are allowed to be sold to the Those are the things that we also need our authorities to be checking timers.
Well, thank you so much, Nkobo Khomungwe. Thank you so much, the regional chairperson here in Johannesburg. At this point in time, having to say that they're calling to authorities, that's indeed to ensure that they enforce the regulations in a number of spaza shops, and they are seeing that because of the lawlessness that is prevailing in most parts of the country, we're seeing a number of spaza shops mushrooming, and without even having to follow the protocols as expected, having to not even paying SARS in some instances. So the Youth League has submitted its memorandum of demands there at the Naledi police station, where about 2 cases at this point in time we understand are being investigated, and the samples have also been taken to relevant department and authorities to investigate what could have been the cause of the death. What is this poisoning that they are talking about?
Yeah, and Bafedile, one would say that the horse has bolted already, because these clandestine operations have been going on as unscrupulous business practices, and the mere fact that we still call them Abo My Friend is problematic, because it's now gone even to tragic deaths, loss of life. Who knows what other health-related issues or complications people are suffering from, because Abo My Friend are selling either expired or fake products, and I don't think there is enough outrage. Ugutu My Friend is not your friend. They're primarily there to exploit vulnerable communities, and over and above that, they're not even regulated. There is no regard for the law.
Well, earlier on when I engaged him here, having to say, in this instance, who are we actually blaming? But he's saying that these governments work to ensure that they descend down to the streets and ensure that they enforce regulations. So at this point in time, we are unable to get a comment from the authorities there, Cindy, to hear as to how far are they with investigations and how far are they in ensuring that they do implement the regulations that governs the spaza shops. But we understand majority of the spaza shops that are owned by the foreigners do not actually have the proper documents to be operating at this point. So government authorities have been called to come on the ground to ensure that they enforce the law, Cindy.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you indeed for the update and for your report. That is my colleague Bafedile Moerane. She's out in Soweto, where communities and members of the ANC Youth League are marching to the Naledi police station to hand over a memorandum of demands to ensure that illegally run spaza shops are closed down and that law and order is enforced.